Does that sound right?
I feel like the end of that may have been a little bit improvised.
It was slightly,
I was gonna say it started strong, and then it was like I don't know where you're meandering with this, but it sounds vaguely farming. Yes.
I confused it with EastEnders quite
shows how much of a soap person you are.
So Eastenderdale or something, is it? Is that what you were singing?
Phil Mitchell on a farm. Someone is missing an opportunity.
Welcome to the Button Mash Podcast. Michael returns to sing strange songs for us once more.
Hello, I'm sorry to be back.
That was, I guess, Emmerdale?
It was an attempt at Emmerdale. It may or may not be there, but it was close enough, I think.
I recognised it for what it was, which is good enough in my book, I think.
If you ignore the fact I told you what I was singing before we started, then that's a victory.
Well, okay, that is always the test, isn't it? If you hadn't told me what you were going to sing, would I have known? I think is the answer to that.
I would have known.
Well,
thank you, Danny. I appreciate it.
It's only because I get force-fed Emmerdale every dinner time, so...
Wow. It's a new form of torture that we're not aware of.
Yeah. It's not too far off.
Well, he is the farming man. He is farming as we speak, so I hear tell.
Yeah. I'm on Farming Simulator 2015, and it's surprisingly good for what it is.
Has Ken Dingle made an appearance yet?
No, not yet, but I'll tell you when he does.
He's DLC, you have to pay extra for him.
The
Ken Dingle expansion pack.
I think in the expansion pack you get the whole Dingle family.
Right.
If there's no Zack, it's not worth the money.
You do realise absolutely nobody in the world has any clue what the hell you were talking about right now.
I love the thought of an American listening to this podcast going, who the hell is Zack?
What's a Zack Dingle? What's a dingle? Is it like a dongle? Is that what they're talking about? Is this something like a USB adapter? Is this what we're talking about? Is that? Can you get them for tractors?
Is there any relation to Zack from Saved by the Bell?
Yeah, that must be it. Welcome to Button Mash Podcast. Michael is with us, and as you've heard, Danny returns once more. Danny's joining us to farm and talk about video games at the same time, somehow.
Yep. So multitasking.
Something like that.
He's a man.
And it's going to be very difficult from there.
So welcome to the Button Mash Podcast. We're going to talk about video games and video game accessories for somewhere around the next 2 hours or so. It's how long we usually go. So we shall kick off with what we usually do, which is talking about our gaming experiences for the past week. So, Danny, as our somewhat infrequent guest, why don't you start off? I mean, I know you're playing Farming Simulator, so why are you playing Farming Simulator? Tell us that, for starters. I demand to know.
It was my childhood dream to become a farmer. Okay. Which is not too far from the truth, actually, because when I was younger, I used to go up to the deep into the Yorkshire Dales, and we used to go past a place called Hellifield. Now, anyone who knows Hellifield knows that it has a massive tractor company that obviously sells tractors. And when I was a kid,
tractor company.
it was just something I enjoyed going past and seeing all the lovely tractors but now I'm living the dream.
Simulating those virtual ones.
Yeah. The beauty of this is
it's cheaper than a real tractor?
Oh, hell yeah.
That's a good start.
It's cheaper than a real tractor, but how this compares to the other farming simulator game I used to play, as well as doing farming and that, you can also do things with trees. You can chop them down, turn them into wood and all that, and it just adds to it, which is really good.
I like that your gaming career has spanned multiple farming games. What other farming games have you played?
Farming Simulator 2013.
Oh, right, the predecessor.
There's one out every year.
Actually, I seem to recall, I think the Yogscast played 2015 on their live stream over Christmas. I remember watching them doing all the forestry, but the forestry mostly seemed to involve not using any particularly specialized equipment, just taking whatever vehicle was to hand, driving into the tree until they pushed it into the lake, and then when it turned into the lake, it just magically turned into money. Which is like, that doesn't seem terribly accurate to the entire woodcutting process.
That's how farming works.
Oh, right. I have been grossly misled.
I haven't seen that. I mean, the person who got me into these farming simulator games was a guy called Stockergloss. Have you heard of him?
No, can't say I have.
Well, he started off with farming simulator for number 13, and did a really good let's play of it, and it got me intrigued. So I decided to buy the game. Next thing I know, I racked up 200 hours on it.
Jeez, that's just terrifying.
It is. It's terrifying when I look back on it, and now I'm playing the Xbox version of the next game up.
For 40 podcasts now, 40 weeks straight, we have asked on a weekly basis, who the hell buys all these simulator games? And today we know the answer.
I don't buy all of them. I haven't bought Goat Simulator yet, so.
See, I think that would have been one of the ones you'd be more justified in buying. At least most people go, lol, it's funny.
It's all about shipping simulator for me. All that paperwork.
Right, yeah, that sounds compelling.
I will admit I did get Train Simulator because I'm a big fan of trains, but...
That's just basically, it's buying a train set without having to clear out an entire room of your house in order to make space for an actual train set, I think.
Yeah, and muck about with chicken wire and papier-mâché.
It probably costs about the same as well when you look at the DLC.
Oh yeah, the DLC is extortionate, but the trains.
Yeah, it doesn't the DLC run into if you were to buy it all, it runs into 4 figures or something, I think.
Oh yeah, it's a high amount. Oh yeah, they're not skimping on the prizes.
Oh, we have a surprise guest. Hello, welcome to the podcast, Alzorath.
Hello.
This is the second time that's happened.
That's amazing in the podcast history. That's people just randomly show up in these things.
Tulkas did this to us once, and now you're here. This is fantastic. Welcome to the podcast.
Greetings.
We're talking about farming.
Yes, we're talking about Farming Simulator because that's a compelling topic.
Does it have rednecks?
Yeah.
I don't know. Danny, does it have rednecks?
No, because I'm in Germany.
Oh.
I'm sure Germany must have some equivalent. There must be some German analog to rednecks.
Does it have sheep?
It does have sheep.
I'd be disappointed if a farm game didn't have sheep. It seems like a farm staple, really.
Alzorath, do you know who Zach Dingle is?
I'm not sure I want to know with a last name like that.
I told you no one would get that.
The British soap industry has failed us once again.
It is a character from a British soap opera which formed the basis of our theme tune this week, and we were talking about, is anybody outside of Britain going to recognise what the heck that might possibly be? I think you have concluded for us that the answer is no.
I just looked him up. The picture looks familiar.
Oh well, I guess if he's an actor, he probably must have done other things in his life.
Other than British soaps.
Other than Emmerdale.
There is an Emmerdale wiki. Of course there is. Of course there's an Emmerdale wiki. Portrayed by Steve Hallowell. Let's do our usual looking at celebrities thing.
Do you want me to tell you if he's dead or not?
No, I presume he's still alive. I imagine he's still in the show, is he not?
He's still alive.
Yeah, he's still in it.
He has been playing Zach Dingle since 1994.
Holy crap.
And he is featured in a number of other things. Good lord, he was in Coronation Street.
Ken Baller had him out of town, though.
That must be it.
You've got it in for Ken Barlow, haven't you?
Ken Baller's the man, man.
Wasn't he the one who ended up in prison?
No. They will never dare put Ken Barlow in prison. He just walked into the car and...
No, not the Not the
I think he means the
character.
actor.
Yeah, the actor.
He got off though, didn't he?
Yeah, he just walked into courtroom and said he was Ken Barlow. Got away with it.
And then the court was like, well, we can't arrest Ken Barlow. Well, I guess he was arrested. He wasn't, convicted. We can't convict Ken Barlow. So,
for legal purposes, William Roach was found completely innocent of everything.
Well, that was kind of what we were getting at there. Yes, he kind of was.
The views of the Button Mash host and co-hosts may or may not be politically correct.
We are stating facts. He was not convicted of anything. It's not even an opinion. It's the guy genuinely was not convicted.
Are most things on YouTube politically correct?
No.
we tread some lines at times, I think.
Nah.
Oh well. Alzorath, guest, what have you been playing this week? Please don't say Farming Simulator.
Dirty Bomb.
Dirty Bomb, hooray! Yes, I've been playing a lot of Dirty Bomb as well. So that is a common point on which we can talk.
Tell me about Dirty Bomb.
I have 53 hours in it.
Jeez, really?
Ooh, that's a commitment.
So I guess you weren't here last week. We did talk at a reasonable length about, at least I talked at a reasonable length about Dirty Bomb, but I guess I have an entirely new audience to go on about it with this week, so let's talk Dirty Bomb. Dirty Bomb is a first-person shooter that I'm clearly not as addicted to as Alzorath, but I'm getting there. I've unlocked my first character, and
it's a nice balance between arcadey and serious first-person shooters.
Okay.
yeah, it fits neatly into the gap in my life that used to be TF2 for me, I think.
I can see that. Definitely can see that. I used to be Counter-Strike. Back before it was CSGO.
I never really got into that. I've tried my hand at it a few times. It never really grabbed me to any extent.
I haven't been able to get into CSGO itself. The community's too blank.
It's two.
Yes.
Just two. Okay.
It's two go.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, I got the woman who shoots life at people this week. So Sparks, yes, Sparks who's got the ranged defibrillator. I don't know how the hell that works, but it's amazing.
It's an amazing sniping weapon too.
I have actually landed a few hits with that as well. Yeah, it's like if someone in the distance who was like it killed them. I was like, how did I kill them with that? What the
It's
heck?
the only perfect accuracy weapon in the game too.
Oh right, really? Is it?
Yep.
Amazing. Cool.
Whereas everything else has a cone of fire.
Yeah, I haven't had long enough to really get too in depth, but yeah, I just kind of like a sort of average, sort of kind of failing team that's kind of maybe like pushing an objective or something. They're all sort of dying fairly frequently around objective. I'm just like, You're alive, you're alive, you're alive, you're alive, you're alive, while being nowhere near the firefight.
Yeah,
I need you in my matches.
Yeah, I've just looked at the screenshots. They do look pretty average.
I mean, visually it's nothing super striking, I suppose. But I think it's probably the best looking game that I can run at 60 frames per second on my computer, though.
I don't know, Sawbones looks a bit odd.
Sawbones, I have not had a chance to play with him yet. He's one of the 3 medics.
He's pretty good. I prefer Aura personally as far as the 3 medics go.
I do like Aura's ability just to keep a team going, because Sparks is obviously really bad at that with just like 4 health kits to throw around, which is not great.
Sawbones uses large med kits. You have, I believe, medium.
Yeah, it's the ones Sparks throws restore 30 health, and if you manage to like direct hit someone with it, it's 40. I don't know how much a large med kit restores.
Not too much more than that.
Oh, really? Yeah, Sawbones always sounded kind of awkward in that regard. It's like, you've got one healer that's got like a freaking amazing gun that can just revive people without having to be anywhere near a firefight. And you've got someone who's got the AoE heal thing that keeps an entire team on their toes really, really well. And then Sawbones is like, what does he do? He has to run into a firefight to resurrect people, and then he's got an awkward throw-a-medkit kind of healing ability. I don't know, he never sounded great.
He's the sturdiest of the medics, though. So I guess that's the thing.
Yeah, I guess that's how you balance things. Because, a lot of the characters I'm like, that character just seems just like way more powerful than another one, but I guess health is health and speed are a big part of balancing.
Yeah, I don't usually go for the big beefy characters. I was like addicted to Nader for a while, but past few days I've just been all about the proxy. A fast little like landmine.
I do feel like I need to invest in Nader at some point, because the one thing I will note, I don't want to say she's OP, but I have never seen Nader not be like one of the top 2 on the leaderboards every friggin' match. If Nader's on a match, they're always like top of the leaderboards. It's like it just seems like easy points. Just like there's a choke point where people are fighting, spam, spam, spam. Like, it's kind of demo man stuff, I guess.
It's also kind of one of those things. She's a suicide bomber. Basically, her main thing is if you die, you're still gonna get a kill out of it usually, because people like instinctively try to go up and finish you off.
Martyrdom as well. Yes.
Yep. I can't wait for Phoenix to come out. He's basically the reverse of her.
The reverse? How does that work?
He dies and he can revive himself.
What?
He's another medic.
Okay.
So
that's a really weird one. Okay.
Sounds a bit OP, that.
I mean, I imagine there must be like a fairly lengthy cooldown, or just like a once per life kind of job, is it?
I don't know mechanically how they plan to make it work, but he's on the list for like characters to come back, because they took out a whole bunch for balancing.
Oh, right. Fair enough.
There's also a melee guy, like a sword ninja thing.
Okay.
Supposedly.
Interesting.
Reminds me a lot of Revengeance.
All right. I was gonna say I played a lot of the melee characters back in Monday Night Combat. So I always played like the assassin, who's like everybody else is running around with guns, and all I got is a katana and stab people in the back with it. But that was always fun. I enjoyed the heck out of doing that. So
it's pretty much like that, from what I hear.
Also, if they've got a stealth ability, then yes, give me that. Is that gonna be the spy?
I believe his name is Phantom.
Right. That sounds like somebody who would be able to go invisible.
Look him up real quick. There we go.
You never know. He might just be a big fan of the car.
Yeah, he cloaks.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Carries a sword and cloaks. It's basically spy / assassin /
In his previous version, he could one-shot people with his heavy attack, and 2 attacks with his quick attack would kill most characters.
I could have a go with that. I would be interested to play that character. Yeah, definitely. Sounds interesting.
Apparently, he says "trick or treat, motherfucker" as one of his lines.
Fair enough.
There's just people going on about how they want him back.
Yeah, I can see. Well, it definitely sounds drastically different to everything else. Sounds like something to mix things up. Yeah. I'm intrigued to see where they're going with this. I mean, I don't know how finished it's considered to be. I gather it's been in the works for like 2 years now at this point already. So,
yeah, it was in beta for a long time under another name as well.
Yeah, I recall hearing what that was, and I can't remember what it was now. So yeah, it had a really generic name, didn't it?
There's also going to be a flamethrower type character as well.
Of course, there's a pirate. They're copying TF2 at this point.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I was going to say all those are like 2 of the TF2 classes I would have said. I was like, oh yeah, it's missing those. Other than that, there's like most of TF2's in there. I mean, you got yourself a demo man. Oh, I guess they need a rocket launcher of some sort in there. If you get a rocket launcher, then you got a soldier.
Well, you sort of have it in Nader.
Yeah,
she might as well be a rocket
like I say,
launcher.
Nader's kind of more your demo man. You've got medics is a medic. You've got a guy with a minigun who's your heavy. You've got a sniper. You've got an NG. What else am I missing? There's another class, I'm sure.
You have your scout.
Oh, scout. Yes, the scout.
That's proxy.
They have 6. They have 6 out of 9 TF2 classes in it already. Effectively, they're missing soldier and soldier, pyro, and spy. They're planning to add them.
I was about to say, which one is he? Bragger is pretty much your soldier. But he just doesn't have a rocket launcher.
Yeah, not in the TF2 sense. In the TF2 sense, we're talking about a character whose primary weapon is a rocket launcher, though. His main method of hitting you is with rockets to the face.
I don't see one of those currently in their lineup, so maybe they'll have to add that one.
Yeah, it's kind of like the only. Yeah, it's the only thing that's obviously missing in that kind of sort of field of things. I don't know.
They would have to make the rockets fairly weak to balance it against the grenade characters. I think their grenades are their intention for rockets.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's not. I'm kind of making the assumption here that they're trying to be TF2, and clearly they're not. They're trying to be their own thing, but they're stepping.
TF2.
Yeah, I was going to say they're stepping on a lot of TF2 shaped toes right now. Is all I can say about it.
Yeah, you can see the resemblance in it a little bit.
I mean, I don't object to that. I mean, my main objection to TF2, as for a lot of people who probably quit around the same time, is that game just became too heavily about trading and cosmetics and getting bogged down in that kind of side of things rather than making interesting gameplay.
I thought we'd established though that everyone loves a good hat.
I love a good hat as much as the next man, but
People don't wear enough hats.
They don't. No, I know. I concur. But I don't want my military shooter to be entirely about hats. By the time you're making jokes about the military-themed hat simulators, your game has gone too far down the hat balance of things. And it's a hat too far is what it is. So, so yeah, that's kind of about the time I stopped playing TF2, and I don't believe they don't seem to add much in the way of new weapons or maps, except when like the community really comes together and makes a lot of interesting stuff these days.
But I do believe there is a hat shaped like a machine gun.
Wait, what? Is this in TF2 or?
I don't know, I'm assuming.
It would not surprise me. It really would not surprise me. Oh, you have linked me to
another Merc.
Another Merc.
See which one they're trying to rip off with that one, just whenever you first load it up.
I would say that looks like Solid Snake. Is that who there is? Is that? I don't recall Solid Snake being in TF2.
It seems like they're just pulling inspiration from a lot of modern games like that.
I'm surprised.
Yeah. I have no idea what the heck's going on. It's Smoke Bomb. That's a weird one.
Yeah, I think that's the only one I've seen so far that actually messes with other people's visuals, like, for the entire area.
Yeah, there's nothing like that in the game.
The one that reminds me of Crash Bandicoot.
Sorry?
Foxy, is he in there yet?
Oh, Proxy? Reminds you of Crash. I can see that. I can definitely see that.
Okay.
I was joking.
I actually can see that. She rolls and jumps all around like a platformer, so...
That does sound like an interesting character to play. I need to unlock that at some point. I need to play a lot more of it to unlock things, but...
She's one of the cheaper ones, if memory serves. I think she's 30,000 credits.
Alright, cool.
Whereas ones like Kira and Rhino are the expensive ones. I'm not sure how I feel about tiered pricing on the characters.
Well, they wouldn't be the first to do it, but...
I mean, League of Legends does it too.
I kind of feel like it's like skewed a little towards the higher end of what would be good to pay for it. I don't know. There's a little steep for one character, I think.
I wouldn't mind the in-game cost being a little higher, but definitely don't increase the cash. Insane.
Yeah,
it's $10 for your high-end characters, and I think it's $7 or $8 for the low end.
Yeah, I think it works out about like £5 and £7 in British monies. So, I don't know. I mean, comparing it to Monday Night Combat, I'm sure I paid probably reasonably similar prices for characters in that. I need to. A little bit of me was kind of contemplating earlier. It's like I can't remember for the life of me how much those characters cost in that game, and I really would like to know. But that means, I think to find out, I'm gonna have to like re-download like a 20 gig game or something. I was like, I don't want to do that just to find out what price the friggin' characters were. However, I wonder if Google will help me with that one. There is a wiki, and wiki may be useful. Captain Spark was definitely one I bought. Do we have a price on that? That's a negatory.
Picking it up.
No idea. Oh well, never mind. I may never know.
You are destined to live the rest of your life in mystery.
I could just re-download the game, but you know. It's
Destined
fine.
for mystery.
Yes, mystery, whatever. Okay. So yes, Dirty Bomb is my thing right now. It's cool. I know it's good. I like objective-based games, and that game does objectives like exceptionally well. I think
I don't think it'd be as fun with just kill everyone else kind of thing.
No, I think it'd be pretty bland like that.
That's one reason why I never got into like Call of Duty and stuff.
Yeah, well, they had objectives, but it was always just
really basic.
Yeah, it was like capture the flag kind of things at best.
Or every other first-person shooter game has.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't really, pushing the boundaries with this. I mean, this one, it's similar to TF2 in the kind of layout, but TF2 always kind of broke it up into like a bunch of separate maps. It's kind of like if they designed TF2 as like one really, really, really long map. And I know I'm pushing the TF2 comparison yet again, but
I'm tempted to make the comparison to the game that everybody seems to hate.
Which one's that?
Brink.
Oh, I never played that, so I don't know that.
I actually agree with Total Biscuit on this one, that Brink was a good game. It's just everybody hated it.
Okay. I know. I never played it, so I have no idea about it.
Its objective system was very similar to this, except you had a little bit more variety as far as like what the specialists did in different areas.
Okay.
And the jumping was better.
Okay, fair enough. So, yeah. That's Dirty Bomb. Go play that. If you're not playing it, go play it. It's free, for Christ's sake. Go try it out.
Yeah, and you have 2 characters definitely for free, and then there's free rotation, so...
Yeah, there's, like a assault class and medic are the free ones, and then, whatever random luck of the draw. Although, I thought it was supposed to be a weekly rotation, is it not? Because I feel like the current characters have been there for over a week, and I really wish they'd feck off.
I don't think it's weekly. I think it's just whenever they feel like it.
Oh, right.
Because right now they have Spark and Rhino as the free.
Spark is
I believe. Isn't?
Unless it's like changed today or something. Last I played, which would have been yesterday, it was Vasily the sniper, Rhino the heavy, and Bushwhacker the engine.
Oh.
Unless it's changed like very recently, and I
already owned Spark, so I'm not sure.
Well, Spark is the latest. Spark is the one I just bought. If it was on the free rotation, I probably wouldn't have bought it offhand. I'd have been like, I will wait till I can't just play it for free, and then I'll buy it.
I keep getting cards for the characters I don't use.
Well, that is the luck of lockboxes, isn't it? Is it not?
Yep. Of course, you get them really frequently. I think in about 3 days, I've gotten 22.
Holy crap. Well,
yeah.
By the sounds of it, it sounds like you played quite a lot more than me. I was going to say that's a lot more frequent than I seem to be getting them, but you probably also played quite a lot more than I have in that time.
I get usually one a game, if not one every other game.
Yeah, somewhere around that, I suppose. But I don't know. I guess you must have played like that would be implying you've played like nearly 50 matches in the last 3 days.
Probably.
Okay then. Well, fair play to you then. I have not played 50 matches in the last 3 days. I've had nothing better to do. I still haven't played that much of it.
I actually need to start recording it, honestly. It's need
more
people.
Yeah, I'll say something we keep talking about doing and nobody's done yet, so... I mean, my problem with it is that I'm kind of juggling. I've got like a bunch of stuff. I complained about this last week, I'm sure. I've got a bunch of stuff that I feel I feel somewhat obligated to play at least a bit of every day to do my dailies and whatnot. So,
yeah, same here.
I've got Sky Saga, so I've got to do my daily Sky Saga content. I've got Wildstar. I need to log in and at least do something there. Now I've got Dirty Bomb and of course Final Fantasy Record Keeper as well. I've got to keep up with the quests and events and things. Sephiroth is the thing now. I can unlock Sephiroth. That started today, so now I got to play through and get Sephiroth.
You don't need Sephiroth. You need Kefka.
I'm not sure if Kefka's in it, to be honest.
Oh, that makes me sad.
Well, they keep adding stuff. It's a ridiculously well-supported game, that one, so I've no idea. They may have added it in like a previous event and I've missed it or something, but I'm not even sure who Kefka is, so...
Why?
Because I have not played...
Wasn't he from number 6?
Yes.
Oh, right. Well, I have not played 6, so...
Never have I. It just sounded familiar, that's all.
He was one of the better villains, because he's the only one that's ever actually, won, as far as the villains go.
God, so that's about a villain.
I've just got the wiki up. I'm trying to find which characters are actually in it. Final Fantasy VI. Current Final Fantasy VI characters available in the Western version of the game are Cyan, Terra, Locke, and Celeste. Of those, I have Cyan and Terra, I think. And I guess in the Japanese version, you can get Edgar, Mog, Sabin, Setzer, Shadow, and Strago.
Yeah, those are all pretty interesting. I'm surprised they don't have Mog, because Mog is super popular in the West.
Well, chances are, I mean, the Japanese version's been out for a long time before they brought it over to Western audiences, so chances are a lot of the stuff that is in the Japanese version will probably be done on one of these like weekly event kind of things.
Yeah. Because
Final Fantasy VII, oh yeah, they added Red 13 into this event as well, which, according to this wiki, says that's a Japan-only character, which as of today, it's actually not, so that needs updating.
You're on the wiki, update it.
I really should.
Get on that.
I'm always terrible at updating those kind of things.
They're not terribly complex.
Well, I'm like, someone else will get it.
Well,
my laziness, not my competence, destroys it.
Well, I've just, I've started playing Final Fantasy 13 this week, so I'm kind of a little bit more invested in those kind of characters within Record Keeper now, but I've kind of got to this weird place where it's like, I'm now playing through the same story in 2 entirely different games. Except it's way faster to play through the game in Record Keeper, so I'll be like, it'll take me like quarter of an hour to go through one mission in Final Fantasy Record Keeper, but that is representative of like 2 or 3 hours worth of gameplay in 13. So I was like, now I need to play more 13 now so that I don't spoil 13 by playing Record Keeper.
Yeah, I noticed you were playing it. They have 13.2 on Steam also now.
Well, I picked up 13 in the sale. It was just partly because I'd been playing Record Keeper, so maybe that's a good sign for them that Record Keeper is a fantastic marketing device. But at the same time, it was like I've never finished any Final Fantasy game, not one of the core numbered ones at any rate, and the only one I'd really played was 9. I was like, I really should, actually make an effort to play at least some of these. And 13 was on sale in the Steam sale. I was like, you know what, I'm going to play Final Fantasy 13. I want to actually sit down and finish a Final Fantasy game at some point in my life. I mean, at some point,
one of the worst ones.
I'm enjoying it, damn you. The thing is, a few people I follow on Twitter had been, I guess, playing it, like, not that long before the Steam sale, so they were kind of tweeting about their experiences with it, and generally it had been pretty positive. All I'd been hearing about it was, everyone gives it a bad rap, but actually this is pretty good. So with that kind of in my mind, I was like, oh, everyone gives it a bad rap, but it's supposed to be pretty good, so I bought it. And I was like, oh yeah, everyone gives it a bad rap, but I'm finding it's pretty good.
It's one of those situations where Square Enix still makes really good games. It's just compared to their old library, the new games aren't as good. They're
Fair
still
enough.
better than most of the crap other people are shoveling out.
Right, okay.
Yeah, they're nothing compared to what they were when they were Squaresoft.
Yes. I wholeheartedly agree with that one. I don't plan to buy the newest Final Fantasy. That one just screams wrong to me.
Which one, the 15 is it?
Something like that.
Yeah.
It's the one that looks like an MMO, but isn't.
Okay. I actually, now that you mentioned that, I vaguely recall having heard that somewhere. I don't know how that works, but okay. So yeah, I guess that must be Final Fantasy 15, because obviously 14 is the MMO.
Yeah. 12 and 14 are the MMOs. 14
no,
had
11
a
and,
real
11 and 14.
11, sorry, yeah. 11 and 14 are the MMOs, but apparently 14 had a really, really rough launch.
Yes, they launched it. It did so badly. They apologized for the game and stopped selling it, and went and remade it and brought it back as Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn. like a couple of years later, and we're like, hey, here's the game, can you try buying it again? And to be fair, it's actually done a hell of a lot better, so they must have done something good with it.
I've thought about picking it up, but I just don't have the time for an MMO. I say that after I've played 53 hours of Paintball.
It's the same investment, it really is at the end of the day, yeah. I mean, I tried picking it up for a couple of weeks, but I don't know, never grabbed me. I don't know what it was about it. It was like, it's a very pretty world, but there's nothing
kind of soulless.
I don't know that that's the right word for it. It just didn't really compel me in the same way that World of Warcraft did back in the day, or WildStar did more recently. Clearly, it's grabbed quite a lot of people, because a lot of people are like, yeah, it's got a great story, it's fantastic, you've got to play it, you need to finish this now. It's like, I didn't do that for me. I just didn't. But hey-oh. I do want to go back and play Final Fantasy IX at some point, because that is the one I did start playing way back when, and then never finished it.
9 really is one of the better, newer Final Fantasies, I have to say.
Well, like I looked, for some reason I looked it up on Wikipedia like earlier in the week, because I was kind of idly browsing that kind of thing, because I'm clearly on a bit of a Final Fantasy kick at the minute for some reason. And it was, I guess they announced Final Fantasy 9, 10, and 11 all at the same time. And it was 9, it was supposed to be one of their, I guess, older style one, more in line with something like Final Fantasy 7 or 8. Final Fantasy 10 was supposed to be a new style game, which I can only imagine would become the template for the likes of 12 and 13 after it. I'm presuming this, I don't know really, but that's how I imagine that kind of works. And yeah, 11 was the MMO. So they announced 3 numbered Final Fantasy games all at the same time, but they were all supposed to be drastically different things. And I guess Final Fantasy X did pretty well, because that got a sequel and everything. And Final Fantasy IX is the one that did so badly they wouldn't port it to PC. So
they're weird about that stuff.
In what way weird?
They'll randomly port things that they probably shouldn't, but they won't port things that had like amazing sales. So
I don't know. I mean, were they not the people that complained that Tomb Raider did really badly when they got?
Yeah, they complained about Tomb Raider.
So yeah, their idea of what's a success and what's not is, I guess, a little bit skewed at times.
Very skewed. But if they even just brought the classic ones in just through like a cheap emulator system, kind of like Sega's been doing with their old Master System and Genesis games.
Well,
they'd do fine.
I was going to say, they brought pretty much all of the old ones back in one form or another, have they not?
They've brought the ones that were 3D titles.
Okay, I thought they went further back than that as well.
The Final Fantasy 3 is the Game Boy Advance port, which is a 3D title. Final Fantasy 4 and Final Fantasy 4, the After Years are the 3D versions of those as well. And I have to say, the Final Fantasy 4 and 4 After Years, the 2D version is better. The 3D version's harder, but things flow better in the 2D version. But that's only available on mobile and Game Boy Advance.
It's on PC as well, is it not? Sorry?
The 3D one is.
Oh, right. You're talking about this specifically, the 2D.
The 2D one, yeah. There's so many versions of each one.
Right. I also, looking on Steam now, I'm finding the Final Fantasy 3 is on PC as well.
Yep.
The ones available on Steam are 3, 4, 7, 8, and 14, I guess.
Yep.
Okay,
that sounds
kind of a weird selection,
about right. I have all the Final Fantasies that they've released on PC. Mainly because trying to promote them to release more on PC, but it doesn't really work.
They also have Typo, whatever the heck that one is.
I haven't bought that one.
Supposed to be.
That one has gotten negative responses for the most part, from what I can tell.
I heard it was kind of a weird one. I don't know quite what the heck it actually is, to be honest. Never really looked into it to any great extent. 3
is an interesting one to grab because it's they didn't release I don't know if they released it in the UK or not, but I know they didn't ever release it in the US. So.
Well, on Steam, I guess it's got like release date 2015. It's not I guess it will be, but it's not out yet. So, I don't know. That's, yeah, Square being strange, I suppose. Alrighty, fair enough. Anyone else been playing anything interesting? Michael, what have you been playing?
I've been back on my PS3 for the first time in a little while this week.
Oh, yeah?
Got a couple of games bought for me. Finally got the most recent version of WWE. So, back on the wrestling.
Ah, homoeroticism simulator.
Ooh, Ooh, you're harsh to me, John. One of the few games I'm actually good at.
Alright.
So much spandex.
There's nothing wrong with a bit of spandex in your life.
Unless it's on my butt.
Fair point. No, it's again, it's standard fare, I guess. It's just slight things have been tweaked. The only thing that I really noticed big differences is that there's a momentum bar, so I can see how much momentum I've got before I can get like a big move. So I'm pretty pleased with that. It's fun. It does what it says on the tin, so I'm happy with it.
Is that one of those things they do on a yearly basis, like a roster update kind of job, is it?
Yeah, it's like 3 or 4 new people come in. People got fired or, in some cases, died or removed.
Yeah, I was about to say that, but okay, yeah. It seems like a lot of the turnover in wrestling might just straight up be people dying.
It's quick. They have a nice system that flushes the weak out.
Known as broken necks.
Survival of the fittest.
Well, pretty much. I also played the Lego movie game, because I'm a big fan of them Lego games.
Oh, is that one actually any good? I mean, I know the Lego games are good, and I know the Lego movie's good. I had no idea whether the Lego movie game was any good, though.
It's
awesome.
The fact of flesh.
Is everything awesome?
Yeah, everything is awesome. Oh, too easy.
Had to be done.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not too bad. They've had to flesh it out a little bit, so you're like wandering around cities for a bit. But yeah, it's pretty engaging. It's no Lego Star Wars, but
is it a similar kind of game to those kind of the other Lego games, as it were?
Well, it follows the basic formula of they'll just take bits of the films and put in the voice actors. It just kind of follows that theme, but they flesh it out a little bit, so you're doing like missions and stuff.
Cool.
Alright. I did spot, got advertised to me on Steam front page earlier, I guess they've done like a Lego MMO now? I say they've done a Lego MMO now, as though they didn't already do a Lego MMO that was really fucking good, and then they took it down, because I don't know why.
Too much Lego for one to handle.
I'll say, yeah, there's Lego minifigures online, and I kind of looked down at the Steam reviews, and someone was like, yeah, it's a good game, but it's not Lego Universe. And I was like, nothing could be Lego Universe. Lego Universe was really good. I don't know I can't remember what happened with Lego Universe, but it was not long-lived. Didn't keep that one around. I mean, I got in on the closed beta at one point, and I'm not sure. I don't know if it actually made it to full release. I can't remember what happened there.
Could you go into any Lego world in that one? I'm just trying to remember.
Lego Universe. It was kind of divided into like different themed zones, I guess, and
so it's like the Lego version of the Crystal Maze.
I guess to a certain kind of extent, yeah.
Sounds awesome.
We need Lego Richard O'Brien.
Oof.
So yeah, you could like pick different factions, and yeah, you'd race different worlds. It was really cool. I loved the hell out of that game, and I'm trying to figure out what the hell actually happened to it. Oh, the servers were shut down permanently on January 30, 2012 due to unsatisfactory revenue from within the game's target audience.
Wow.
That was before Lego exploded again, wasn't it?
I guess it must have been, yeah.
Relaunch it now. Lego movie.
Actually, to be fair, you know what? If they relaunch that now, I bet they would actually, because yeah, everyone's going Lego nuts at the minute.
Mm-hmm.
Lego Jurassic Park just came out.
Just don't get Lego Worlds. For the love of God, don't.
Is that that's the Minecrafty one, isn't it?
Yeah. It's not good.
I was about to mention that game, but because a lot of people do seem to be talking about it. I thought it was.
It's not good
being
right
well
now.
Received.
Not good right now.
No.
No. Bad right now.
Okay. That's
Bad.
the first I've heard of that, to be honest. From what I'd heard from people, generally pretty well received, to be honest, but okay. What's wrong with it then? What do you not like about that one?
Well, it didn't play smoothly, and there's really no actual progression in it from what I can tell. You have to break whatever you want to build. It's really weird.
Yeah, I mean, I'd heard it compared to creative mode in Minecraft, if anything,
Yeah.
more so than anything else, so yeah.
It's pretty much that, except you have to break stuff, and you can die while breaking stuff. Like if you try to break a skeleton so you can be a skeleton, you can die. But there's really no, like, I should go do this now, or I should go do that now. There's no reason to explore.
Is there any actual consequence to dying at all, either? Or is it just like, nope, we rebuilt you?
You
Lego
lose
funeral.
the Lego single coin thingies. I don't know what to call them. This little round pieces
I
of
know
Lego.
what you mean. I'm trying to think what the hell they're called. I can't remember what they're
Pips.
called. Pips. Is that what they're called?
That's all I can think of to call them.
The little things that you put on top of the other Lego pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Those
they're
ones.
called pips.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Sounds right.
So, yeah, okay. I mean, what I'd seen of people on YouTube, everyone talking about Lego was like, hey, this is really fun, I'm enjoying this. So, yours is the first opinion I've heard that's dissented, but okay.
I didn't like it. Maybe it's gotten better in the past 2 weeks, but I doubt it.
Not
didn't
staying
look
optimistic.
I was gonna say, it didn't look like the kind of game that would appeal to me, because quite frankly, I don't like Minecraft's creative mode either. It is that lack of sense of progression or anything. It's just like, great, what am I doing here? There's nothing really, I mean, I'm not creative enough for that to work, I think, really.
Honestly, the only thing I like doing in creative mode is redstone. There's nothing like that in Minecraft worlds.
No.
Yeah.
Lego Worlds.
Lego worlds, sorry.
Nice to hear a fellow Minecraft Redstone addict.
I suck at it, but I like it.
I like tinkering with it when I get inspired to do something interesting, but yeah. I'm not one of these people that will build like a difference engine out of it.
You don't want to build a computer out of it either?
Well, that's what a difference engine is.
Difference engine?
Basically. Yeah, they're different. It's like one of the most basic computers, like a mechanical kind of, yeah.
There's people who have built RAM and stuff in Minecraft. So.
I know.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
It's much easier to do with Red Power, Feed the Beast expansion pack.
Well, yes, because they give you like a single block that is a computer. That's kind of cheating when we're comparing it to building an entire computer out of redstone.
John telling someone off for cheating.
Whereas when it's like, here, build a computer from scratch from the raw components, or here's a computer. It's like, one of these things is not the same as the other. You can't just say, hey, I built a computer. What you mean you took a block of iron and crafted it on a crafting bench to make a computer? That's not the same as, building the entire computer from scratch. One of them is impressive but completely, utterly pointless. The other is completely unimpressive but actually pretty useful, so,
Yeah. I'd rather go with the useful one.
Yeah. Fair enough. No, I don't object to mod packs, so just trying to make that comparison, it was like, that is not a fair comparison.
No, true. Yeah, good point. Well, I guess it is, actually, because it's opposite ends of the scale, I guess.
They're polar opposites, yes.
Mm.
I mean, I keep wondering if I should dabble back into that, but Minecraft's too... I don't know, I say as a man who plays a lot of time-consuming games, but I want to say it's too time-consuming. It's the same. It's that same excuse as like, oh, I don't have time for an MMO. It's like, I totally fucking do.
Yeah.
It's that I don't want to spend more of my life. I don't want to. I can commit that much time, but I don't want to commit that much more time to getting into whatever the heck mod packs are available for Minecraft these days. I don't know what the latest is.
How do I?
Some variant of Feed the Beast, no doubt.
Honestly, nowadays all I do with Minecraft is things like UHC and just
I
mini
enjoy
games.
that. Yeah, no. Get together with some friends, just play a game. Quick, done. That's it. That's finished.
It's like building your own like tabletop game and then playing through it. It's fun like that because it's so flexible. Most other games can't do that.
Mm-hmm. Except for Tabletop Simulator, which entirely lets you do that.
Yeah, and it lets you spawn Mountain Dew and flip the table.
It lets you spawn Mountain Dew, really? That's got to be like a user-created model or something, right?
Yeah.
Fair enough. I don't get what... I know someone who bought it just for the flip the table thing. It was like, really? You've no interest in playing the game. What you want to do is just spawn things on the table and flip the table. It's like, if you wanted silly physics, why don't you just go get Goat Simulator? It's like... I understand why the table flip thing exists, because it's satisfying to do, but I wouldn't buy the entire game on the premise that it has a flip table button.
Some people can't afford anger management classes.
That's why every other video game exists. There are many video games that let you take out your aggression on things.
I don't know, they might have an anger fetish.
A table.
They could play
hatred.
Hatred.
Very specific.
Yes. Well, fetishes do have a tendency to be reasonably specific in many instances.
Mm-hmm. They got a table flipping fetish.
I hate wood.
Don't judge. Who are you to judge?
I get wood hitting wood.
Okay.
This has become too sexual for me.
I just need to excuse me for a moment.
I'll be back in a jiffy.
I've got to go craft something.
Unneeded sound effect.
Do you want to see my pickaxe?
No.
That was I'm thinking about it, don't know.
I need to just contemplate it, certainly, yes. Alright, has anyone else played anything?
Mark of the Ninja. Good game.
Oh, okay. I think I've owned that for many a year and never played it, so...
It's really good. It's a platform game, side-scroller. Stealthy elements, murdering elements. It's mostly... most of the killing is quick time, which catches you off guard because it doesn't actually tell you about that, unless you read the instructions.
But no one does that.
Hell no. But no, it's a really good game. Good storyline. It's mostly about revenge, like everything is. But yeah, I recommend it.
Has there ever been a video game where somebody just goes, I have been wronged when my family has been entirely killed, but you know what? I accept your apology. Handshake, game ends.
It does have a choice thing at the end, so you can either choose to kill yourself because apparently the mark is a curse or something like that. Because the ninja that you play as is all tattooed up with like dragons and tigers and all that. And apparently, if he doesn't kill himself, the tattoos will take over and control his mind and all that crap. But no, it's aside from the very big storyline and really good.
That's a Clay game, isn't it? I believe. There's Clay Entertainment.
Yes.
I don't know. So I do like the graphical style. They do some very pretty things.
It reminded me of the graphic style. Reminded me of Samurai Jack.
I don't know that one.
I can see that.
Powerpuff Girls, Dexter's Laboratory, that kind of style, really.
Yeah, cartoony.
Very cartoony, and I like it. It's
really
like
Powerpuff Girls without the outlines.
Yes, it is actually. I never realised that, but yeah, they don't have outlines, which is weird.
Curses.
Yeah, Clay always do some stuff that looks good. I mean, Invisible Ink looked great as well. And what else have they done? They did Don't Starve as well.
The thing that weirds me out about Clay is all of their games looked like distinct and really nice, but they all look completely different. The styles are just so drastically different between them that it doesn't seem like it should be the same artist doing it. Kind of neat.
Well,
very, very versatile studio then.
Well, so I think may not be the same artist, but I was going to say I think a mark of a good artist is the ability to do a lot of different styles.
Yep.
So
at least a good commercial artist.
Yeah. Michael, you had some weird thing you wanted to talk about, or I wanted you to talk about, because what the hell is...
It's a dice game, but I've forgotten the name, so that was my best guess of about what it might be called.
Okay, tell us about...
Well, basically, you have wild stock on the dice, bringing it back to farming. It all segues together.
Oh, okay, right.
But you've got like chickens, goats, a cow, and you have a chihuahua. That's close enough. And,
right.
Basically, it's an idea of if you roll the chihuahuas, you can take over people's wild stock, and the last person with the most amount of dice wins.
I'm still mostly trying to figure out what the heck you could be talking about as a game name. I was like,
somebody in the comments tell me what the hell this game is, because I forgot.
I mean, I'm looking online for dice games, but I don't think that's going to be very helpful.
There's way too many.
Apparently it's made by the same people that made Zombie Dice.
Oh, that does not narrow it down. That's Steve Jackson.
It is a Steve Jackson game. No, yeah.
Okay, Steve Jackson dice game, because yeah.
We might be here a while.
The Zombie Dice is Cthulhu Dice. There's Steve Jackson games / dice, sure. They're mostly in the very same vein as the Zombie and Cthulhu things. It's
in that vein, yeah.
There's Cthulhu Dice, the Zombie Dice, there is Halloween Dice, there is Hipster Dice.
It's Chupacabra.
That's the one.
A chupacabra.
This doesn't that doesn't even show up on the
Hang on a sec. Yeah,
professionalism.
I'm loving that funky beat.
Oddly enough, I know what the Chupacabra is. It skins goats alive.
Yes, that's the basic theme of it. You get, by the amount of chupacabras you roll determines what you can take off other players.
This does not show up on Steve Jackson's website. Apparently they've disowned that game or something, I guess.
Well, I enjoyed it.
It shows up on mine.
Is it filed under Dice Games, or is it not a Dice game?
There you go. There's a link to it. It's the second one down from the top left. Can you survive the night?
Oh, that one. Oh, okay. I see it, yes.
And they're glow-in-the-dark dice, apparently.
Yes, yes, it's a fun game to play at midnight.
Okay, interesting.
I might have to get that one. I think they'd actually sell it where I work.
Cool.
Because they sell the zombie dice and they sell the Cthulhu dice. Don't know about Mars Attacks.
Well, I've got the Cthulhu dice myself. It's a pretty basic game.
Oh,
it's like no much. There's like one dice and a bunch of or die even, and a bunch of glass tokens, and it's mostly just involves swapping glass tokens between players by rolling the dice. And when you run out of glass tokens, you're out of the game, and you become a minion of Cthulhu.
We played it with condiments.
Is that were they showing that one on that tabletop show?
They may have done. I don't know. I imagine Tabletop have showed off a lot of stuff, and I imagine a good deal of it would probably have been Steve Jackson stuff.
If Walt Wheaton hasn't played it, it's not a tabletop game.
Oh no, they played Unspeakable Words, I believe.
Although, yeah, I was thinking, Cthulhu Dice seems like it would be far too simple to make an interesting kind of show out of in any way, shape, or form. If you were to try and make a TV show, it'd be like, the game could be done in like 2 minutes.
Well, our game that we had was quite enthralling.
It works, but I suppose the more people you've got, the better it works. But if you've only got like 2 or 3 people, it's gonna be pretty underwhelming. Yeah. If you can get like 5 or 6 people, yeah, you kind of get when you get into the elements of, oh, you're now a minion of Cthulhu and stuff. That kind of stuff can actually become interesting because you're playing against everybody else, playing to make everybody lose, I guess, and Cthulhu win or something. Yeah. It's
also enthralling when you've had about 5 pints each.
Well, beer makes everything more interesting, yeah, certainly. I can't find it. There's not an easy way to browse all the tabletop stuff, so I'm not going to attempt that. Anyway, I think we should probably go to a break, and we'll come back and we can talk about the gaming news and releases, if you think that's a good idea.
Sounds good to me.
Alrighty,
We'll
do
be
that.
back after this message from our sponsors. Bottom Mash Podcast is back.
Welcome back to the Bottom Mash Podcast. We're going to do some gaming news, and by the way, we also lost Danny over the break. We should probably mention
taken
that.
away by, was sucked into the machines and the farming simulator.
Did you check under the sofa?
He was threshed under his sofa, yes. That's what happened.
He was run over by his own tractor.
Yeah. That can happen. It's a very real danger of working on a farm.
It can indeed.
Actually, not a tractor per se, but my dad actually did manage to get run over by a quad bike he was riding once. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
Did you live?
Yes, he's fine.
Oh, good.
But yeah, I'm not sure quite what happened, but I guess he fell off the front of it and then it went over him at some point.
Be careful when you're on machines, folks.
Yes, yeah. So,
no
yeah.
gaming news and gossip!
Yeah, let's do that. I think the only really noteworthy news that I picked up on this week was the whole Batman fiasco and whatnot.
Well, really? Fiasco? I don't know. I've heard that PC gaming version is fantastic.
You heard that, did you?
Yep,
you heard
and
wrong.
yet to... What?
Well, I guess it was kind of okay if you're willing to throw like $6,000 worth of hardware at it. That's about it.
That for train simulators, apparently.
Yeah, you can either have Batman Arkham Knight or you can have Train Simulator. Pick one.
The way it sounds, I'd rather have Train Simulator.
Yeah. So this obviously is one of the most anticipated titles of recent times, and it's an absolute utter crock of shit, I think is the reasonable way to describe the PC version of it.
Unless you have a console, then it is absolutely wonderful. Well, so we have been told.
Well, most of the Arkham series has been like really crappy whenever it gets first released on PC anyway, so...
I don't think it was quite to this extent.
Not quite to this
This is
degree,
like
but...
pretty much unplayable in a lot of areas.
This is a special achievement from
I was
the
gonna
game
say,
designer.
Without throwing ridiculous amounts of hardware at it, it's like as soon as you get into the Batmobile and start trying to drive around the city, it's instantly just becomes slideshow. Which is pretty bad.
Can we have like Steam achievements for developers?
What is just achievement unlocked? Ported the game really badly. Achievement unlocked. Got below 50% approval rating on Steam ratings or whatever. So yeah, this has been pretty badly downrated on Steam, whatever their review system is. It's like over 60% negative ratings, isn't it? Of like 12,000.
Has had a game removed from Steam.
Yeah, and the ultimate upshot of it was they pulled it. They were like, this is doing so badly, we're going to stop selling this.
Well, it's a good thing that Steam introduced that refund, isn't it?
Isn't it? That's a very interesting timing for that to happen. It's like, you gotta wonder, would that have happened if the refund system wasn't in place? Or would it be like, lol, you bought it now. Stuff you,
See
you
you,
bought the
suckers.
thing. Yeah.
Enjoy your Batman game.
All of a sudden now there's this, customers actually have a path of recourse here. It's like, oh, this game runs at 2 frames per second. Well, I'll just get my money back. And so suddenly I wonder if that's, eating into their revenues a little bit. And they're like, you know what? We should probably fix this.
Just an idea, guys.
So that's what they're doing. I believe there was a patch. Was it today? I think it may have been today, in fact. Or... No, Saturday, actually, is weirdly enough. Weird day to roll out a patch, I suppose. But yeah, on Saturday there was apparently a update patch. Whether that makes it a lot better, I don't know. I've not actually heard. I've seen a bunch of people say, hey, there's a patch. I've not heard anyone say, hey, the patch makes it work. So, I don't know quite what that does for it. It claims to be a performance patch, which I should bloody hope so.
It strikes me as that the amount of problems with this game, one patch might not be sufficient to fix the damn thing.
Well, depends how much they've been whipping their programmers for the last week.
Changes it from unplayable to the options menu works.
Well,
That's progress.
Well, yeah, it had an options menu, didn't it?
Yeah, I was being facetious.
Okay. I think it was quite that bad, yeah. I'm looking at the most recent Steam reviews, and they reviews within the last day or so are more positive than they were negative, I guess. So I guess that's done something.
But still, it's quite an amazing achievement that it came out that bad.
Well, I not that I've played either, so I can't really make the comparison. What I'm interested in, how does it stack up against Assassin's Creed Unity at launch, mostly? That's kind of the interesting one. It's like, if this option had been available to people at the time of Assassin's Creed Unity's launch, would we have seen would we? Yeah, I was gonna say, would we have seen a similar kind of thing? Would Ubisoft have gone, oh shit, yeah, hang on guys, just give us a moment, we'll fix this?
I think they probably would have had to. They would have had no choice.
What just blows my mind is the fact that they can go from unplayable to, I guess, I mean, I'm assuming it's fixed, so there's use this stage, you know, from unplayable to fixed in the span of a week. It's like, if you'd just taken a week longer to work on the game, all of this could have been avoided in the first bloody instance.
Maybe there was such a demand for it on console that they felt that they had to get it out.
I guess that's probably it. I guess at the end of the day, is they're kind of tied to the console release, and it's like, well, if we want to do a PC release, it needs to be with the console release, and we can't move the console release date. That is the date it is going on sale. Kind of locked into it. I suppose that's probably got to be it, but such is the shitty state of affairs that is game development, I suppose.
Yeah, but it's good that if you did pay for the game, you can get your money back now, and I'll stick it out and download the patch, which appears to have improved it somewhat.
Well, admittedly, the Steam refunds was indeed an option, you know, indeed encouraged by Rocksteady, which was good of them. It wasn't. There was no plea to please hold on while we fix this. It was, you know what, guys, if you're really unhappy with this, feel free to get a refund, because yeah, you don't deserve this mess.
It is nice to see the developer put their hands up and go, yep, okay, we have this.
There is an odd thing I noticed about the sale page.
Hmm?
There is still something for sale on it.
Is there actually?
Yeah. Season pass.
Oh, the season pass. Oh god.
You can't buy the game, but you can buy the season pass.
You can get the DLC for it, of course, right.
The DLC for that game that you done.
That you can't buy.
Well, to be fair, if you buy, even if the game was for sale and you bought that now, it still wouldn't get you anything because it's for content that will be available later to you. So, to be fair, you're getting exactly the same content if you buy it now as if the game was available to purchase anyway, so I guess it doesn't matter to any great extent.
Nothing or more nothing.
Yeah, exactly. There's two different flavours of nothing. Something interesting that Total Biscuit observed is that this is the first time since the Steam refund system has been implemented that a game has been straight up pulled from Steam after receiving quite a large amount of sales, and, you know, within the last, about 6 months or so, fairly recently we've had the addition of, someone brought out Steam Spy, which gets lots of sort of analytics and data from Steam, so we can actually see, realistically, how much this would actually impact their sales, which is kind of an interesting number to get that you wouldn't normally have access to.
It's an encouraging thing, isn't it, that game quality took precedent over making money.
Well, like I say, I mean, I would be very intrigued to see if there wasn't the option to get your money back. Would that be the case, or is it simply the fact that the customer can do this that has kind of forced their hand? Is it? I mean, absolutely a step forward for customer service. I'm definitely very much in favour of that. As a consumer product, definitely, I'm all in favour of consumers getting better products, but you just got to wonder, is this genuinely them being consumer first, or is it just simply the outside forces that have kind of forced them to do this against what otherwise would have been their will? I guess the outcome's the same either way. It's kind of cynical to just say, you wouldn't have done it otherwise, but I'm intrigued.
It's a step forward in the right direction for anyone buying games on Steam that things like this happened.
Absolutely.
This has now set the precedent.
Yes. So let that be a lesson to you, AAA game developers. Don't do shoddy stuff or everyone will get their money back in future. I suppose
You've officially been warned.
I suppose the response to that is, screw it, we'll just launch on consoles instead. But then again, I guess from a console perspective, what you do is you go and trade it in on day 2. You buy it on day 1, find out it doesn't work, take it back to the shop on day 2, and trade it back in for a majority of what you paid for it. I suppose you're still losing out a little bit, but
not by much.
Yeah, the big issue with PC and buying into expensive games on day 1 is that cost is gone. You know, if you pay $60 for your game on day 1, you can't go back to the shop and sell it for $50 tomorrow as a trade-in. That's not an option.
You've committed.
You have committed those in the entirety of those $60, certainly, yes.
But it's good that now we seem to live in a world where you can get that $60 back.
It is good. Which actually makes a PC even better than consoles. Yeah. Master Race and all that jazz.
Who are you taunting?
Oh no, here, if you know who to complain to, you can usually get your full money back from a console game.
I guess.
Even if you've opened it here. That's the sad part.
I guess, but it shouldn't be a matter of who you know, not what you know and all that. It should just be, a standard customer service.
I know.
If you get a product that does not work, you should be able to get your money back. In any other walk of life, that would be the case. Well, there we go. That's news. Unless anybody's got anything else I would have to say would merely be barrel scraping. So
I can update you on Barry Chuckle.
Please do.
Yes, that's news.
What is the status of Barry Chuckle?
Well, let's get the old Google up.
Dust her off and you're warmed up.
Search the old obituaries.
So your money's on him being dead then?
Sorry? No, just where else would one go to find out the status of dead people? And there are not many places that report on people still being alive, except in very specific circumstances. Like, was there not a website that was tracking like Margaret Thatcher being alive or dead? Which
yes, I believe there was.
It's like if you wanted to know the live or dead status of Margaret Thatcher, there was a website for that. However, Barry Chuckle is not quite on the same level as Margaret Thatcher. He's getting there, but
Yeah, drum roll. Barry Chuckle is still alive.
Woo!
Yay!
And hilariously, what I found on his Twitter is asking him if he'll come to his stag party in Iceland.
What?
Seriously, check out his Twitter. Baz Elliott, if people are interested.
Baz Elliott. I love that when you run if you type Barry Chuckle into the Twitter search, Barry Chuckle, the actual Barry Chuckle, doesn't actually come up.
Barry Chuckle Dead comes up as one of the options.
There's like a lot of fake accounts, so yeah, you don't actually get Baz Elliott. You actually have to type in I typed in Bez, because I'm clever like that.
Bez and Baz are entirely different people.
So who's Stag Do? Sorry? Can we have a
it's the third tweet down.
Oh, right. That says, can we have a retreat for your second biggest fan, Stag Do, in Iceland? A retreat? Okay. You can have a retreat. Not a retweet, a retreat. Great. Well, that's filled some time.
Yep, we killed 2 minutes.
We killed 2 minutes. Go us. And now you all
Google's too fast.
Now you all know that Barry Elliott is in favour of some guy you don't know having a stag do.
In Iceland.
In Iceland, indeed. Let's do the gaming releases. I guess we're going to have a short show this week, but hey-ho.
No, gaming releases for the week!
The dates today being... I can never find the right place on the page at the right time. The 29th, starting on the 29th. We have BlazBlue Chrono Phantasma Extend, which I think is a fighting thing.
It does have a wonderful name.
It does have a good name, yes.
It rolls off the tongue. That's what I really like about it.
And it just keeps rolling.
Yep. And the page is not loading for me, so I can't tell you much about it. Does anybody know anything about BlazBlue? Because I can't tell you anything about it.
I've heard of it before, but I don't know anything about this specific title.
No, me neither. I mean, like I said, normally we would open a page about it, but my page is not loading. I don't know whether my internet is playing up or whether Giant Bomb is playing up. Probably the former, I guess. It's probably the more likely option. Never mind, we have Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 3 V Generation, which is more fan-servicey anime JRPG stuff.
I think it's a full-blown JRPG, not just like one of those little graphic novel things.
Oh no, yeah, it is a full-blown JRPG. Yeah, I'm aware it is. I was actually looking at the first one on the sale, actually, to be honest, because it's actually supposed to be a pretty good game, but it's one of those games that's like, people will judge me if I play this. Yeah. I do not want.
Oh no, nobody's really judged me so far for that. Let me see if I can find it again real quick. It is the Akiba's Trip.
Oh, I saw you had that. No, I judged you for that. You have been judged by me.
It's tacky.
Yeah.
As expected.
I couldn't see any other way for that to be anything but tacky. Yeah.
I've thought about doing a series over it just called YouTuber Bait, spelled like
BAT.
Masturbate.
Yes, you have mentioned this before.
It's very tempting. I just don't think I'd be able to finish any of the games because those kind of games drive me nuts.
Does it warrant a full playthrough? A series like that just seems like you should just exploit as many fan servicey things as possible.
Yeah, there's a bunch of underwear shots, and you can actually choose their starting equipment and have them start in their underwear, but you have to give them one piece of clothing.
Right, okay.
It's messed up. And the port is terrible. The controls are terrible on PC.
Yeah. Well, it started as a Vita thing, wouldn't it? I think, was it not? I seem to recall hearing about it. I think that's where I first heard of it, at any rate.
It's either Vita or PlayStation 3 or 4.
Right.
I don't recommend buying it. But yeah.
Okay.
I've played it for 47 minutes, and that was more than enough.
Fair enough. I have a page about BlazBlue now. It is an extended version of a game that I guess already came out a few months back. It was originally released in April. It is the extend version, which has more characters and storylines and balance.
So if you're on this game and wanted it extending,
if you're holding out on BlazBlue for more stuff in it, they just added more stuff to it. We have J-Star's Victory Versus Plus, which also sounds like it comes from Japan. Hence J-Stars, I guess? I don't know.
I think it's a safe bet, if we're being brutally honest.
It features characters from Shonen Jump, Naruto, One Piece, and Dragon Ball Z.
Yes, I see Luffy from One Piece on the cover. It's the only one I recognise.
It is a crossover fighter with a lot of anime things in it. Okay, if you have, I guess that sounds like that's basically Super Smash Brothers anime.
Yeah, so I'd be like, yeah, that might be fun.
I can see why that would appeal to people. I don't think it would appeal to me, but I can see why people would buy that.
If you watch anime, you might enjoy this.
Oh, holy shit, this next game. What the frick?
Red Goddess.
Red Goddess Inner World. I played a prototype for this on my channel a while back, and they failed on Kickstarter, then tried it again on Kickstarter, funded it, but they'd kind of changed the style of it all and redone it a bit, and it was kind of an interesting kind of concept. It was like a goddess character who's got like split personality, so you could split into like a fire and ice personality, and they could solve different puzzles and things by being different aspects of the personality and working together and stuff.
Either by using fire or ice.
Yeah, and, well, it's described as a Metroidvania thing now, which the demo was very much not Metroidvania. It's just kind of a linear kind of platformer thing with a little bit of puzzle, a little bit of combat in it. So, Metroidvania sounds like it's way more ambitious than it used to be. It does say it's...
I think it was on Kickstarter too, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, yeah. Because, like I say, they tried funding on Kickstarter and failed, and then they rebranded it as Red Goddess Inner World. They changed it up a bit, and I think they were successful the second time around. So, yeah, wasn't aware that was on the verge of release, because that was, as it says, funded through Kickstarter June 2014. That was only a year ago. For them to go to build an entire Metroidvania title in the span of a year seems quick, to be honest, but okay. They also did not tell me they were launching, you know. Given that they reached out to me to cover it in the first instance, I thought they'd have been like, hey, we finished making it now. Would you like to have a look at it? But no. So this comes as a surprise to me. This is out, apparently. I had no idea. Whispering Willows is a puzzle game by Nightlight Interactive.
Why have I heard Nightlight Interactive before?
I'm wondering the same myself. It's a familiar name, certainly. It is from the limited screenshots Giant Bomb has, a fairly pretty looking game.
Yeah. Backgrounds are a little bit muddy, but the characters are very well done.
They have no information on Nightlight Interactive, so don't know if they've done anything noteworthy before.
I swear I've heard that name before.
Yeah, me too. That's why I'm desperately trying to... I'm in the middle of Googling it. They have made a game called Nomad, I guess? Are you familiar with a Nomad? No, that one's coming soon. No, I think this is their first game. Judging by their website, I think Whispering Willows is their first thing. Nomad is something they're currently working on. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's one of those names that I swear I would have sworn I'd heard of that before as well. Oh well, horror-themed puzzle. That's there. Samurai Warriors Chronicles 3.
Might involve samurais.
Which is Koei Tecmo series of handheld spin-offs from the Samurai Warriors franchise. I'm not familiar with that franchise.
If memory serves, isn't Samurai Warriors kind of like Dynasty Warriors?
Yeah, Koei Tecmo are the guys who do Dynasty Warriors, so I would imagine...
Because Warriors Orochi is a combination of Dynasty Warriors and something else, and I think it is Samurai Warriors.
I would suspect they all sort of tie into the same universe, canon, fictional world, whatever you might call it. Yeah. Oh, well, that's... if you're a fan of that, you'll know you're a fan of that. If you're not a fan of that, you're probably not. It's one of those things that tends to divide people.
It's very specific as to who its target audience is.
Fans of Koei Tecmo stuff tend to, be big fans of Koei Tecmo stuff. Anybody who isn't, just isn't. It's a Marmite kind of company, I think. On the PS4, we have Arcade Archive Scramble, which is a side-scrolling shooter from 1981.
And it looks like it.
Yep, that's definitely a game from 1981. It comes with about 5 colors.
Okay, but those 5 colors are awesome.
Yep, they're definitely colorful.
I do like the look of the next game, I must be honest.
Next game being, Quiplash. I looked at this earlier because it's out on Steam as well. It's Jackbox Games, which I think are the guys who do You Don't Know Jack, aren't they?
Yep.
So they tend to be fairly popular. But looking at this, it sounds like it borrows extremely heavily from Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah, I can see that.
There's kind of a lot of fill in the blanks. Oh, you can put in whatever you want. You can be as filthy and as off-color as you like. So it's kind of... They don't specifically encourage that, but they sort of hint... Watching the trailer earlier, it's like it sort of hints that, if you want to be that person who makes rape jokes and Nazi jokes and racist jokes and whatever the heck you like, you can do that. You can do that.
Do you make up your own answers in it, or is it one of those where you have a set of cards?
I got the impression you could make up your own answers, but I could be wrong on that.
Kind of like ad-libs?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, the name immediately... I don't know how differently it plays. I'm aware that... what's their name? I think it's Firehose Games. Have got a game called... something to do with quipping. I can't remember. The name just made me think of those guys when I saw it. I was like, oh, is that... Have they rebranded that? But I guess it's not the same thing. I can't think what it's called now. Yeah, that's gone. Never mind. Yeah, that's Quiplash. I don't know how that plays, but it's an improvisational thing. Got Rise of Incarnates, which is a 3D arena-based 2v2 fighting game. Planned from the outset as a free-to-play experience. So, I imagine you'll be able to download that one and check that one out at your leisure.
Oh, there's videos for it.
That definitely looks like a fighting game. There are panty shots.
What's a combination?
Well, it seems to be rare, the fighting game these days. It doesn't seem to, at least to a certain degree, if not a fairly major degree, involve partial female nudity as part of its selling point.
So this volume.
Sorry?
No, I was turning on one of the videos for it so I could see what it looks like, and good lord, a little bit loud.
Oh, right. Carrying on with the theme of things that are probably from Japan and we've no idea what the hell they are No Surge, Ode to an Unborn Star. Which is a
no idea.
Yeah, it's a sci-fi role-playing game developed by Gust that ties together the Surge Concerto and Artonelico series. It is for the Vita. Vita is getting a lot of Japanese things.
Which is normal for the Vita.
This is also a Koei Tecmo thing as well. So there's that. Roving Rogue for the Wii U, which I would be extremely surprised if you told me that was not a roguelike of some sort, surely. Seems to be part of the course.
Watch it be a match 3.
Well, it could be. It is a pixel art 2D thing.
Yep, that's an accurate way to describe it.
Whether it is a roguelike or not, I'm not sure. It doesn't actually describe itself as being one. It's a co-op teleporting adventure where players start by defeating the final boss and then have to make their way back out of the castle. Hopefully more interesting than... I mean, the play the game backwards thing has already been done by a couple of games already, and it generally tends to boil down into a rhythm game, so hopefully it's not that. Because that's been done a couple times already, and it only needed to be done once.
It probably is.
Sorry?
I think by the sound of it, it probably is.
I don't know, but yeah. Like I say, as the whole start by killing the final boss and then play the entire game backwards, it's not original, and it only needed to be done once, I think. Subspace is from 1997. It is meet people from all over the world, then kill them. It's asteroid-style gameplay with fast-paced PvP and a massively multiplayer environment. From 1997.
So, if you want a retro title, there you go.
It is releasing on PC, so... desperately trying to resurrect a flagging fan base, I guess? I don't know. An MMO that's... surely it can't have been running continuously since then. Maybe.
I don't think so.
Actually, I say that now, but now that's ringing a bell. No, I think when I was looking through the Steam releases earlier... No, yeah, there we go. It is out on Steam. Subspace Continuum. Subspace Continuum is the longest-running, massively multiplayer online game. Player run, 100% free-to-play, always. From the players, for the players. Sounds like the people who made it don't particularly support it anymore. It sounds like it's more been taken over by, well, by the players, I guess. Some rather dedicated fans, I suppose.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Interesting. Alrighty, let's move on to the Steam releases then. Are you jingle thing?
Not this week. I don't feel like it.
Alright, well, you're fired. Get out.
Alright.
Your only job is to do jingles. You can't decide not to do your job.
Fine, I'll do a jingle.
No, it's too late. No. You missed your chance. No.
No jingle?
No jingle.
I was only kidding.
Jingle me.
Now it's time for the Steam releases, yeah.
Okay, I'll accept that.
Is that the one you want me to go with now? We've always struggled with an appropriate one for the Steam releases.
You can do whatever you feel your heart desires. Unless your heart desires to not do a jingle, then that is not acceptable.
Then you are dead to us.
Yes.
That's a bit harsh.
Let us have a look at Witches, Heroes, and Magic, which is apparently kind of like Heroes of Might and Magic, but real-time third-person, has bullet time, and is Dota-styled single-player combat, which is an extremely complex series of things. I'm not sure what's going on there.
Yeah, it doesn't all sound like it meshes together in harmony.
It doesn't look particularly fantastic either, I gotta say. It looks a little bit clunky.
Hell. I'm trying to wrap my brain around that description.
Well, Heroes of Might and Magic is a turn-based thing, is it not? So yeah, it's real time, which I guess ties in with the Dota thingy. I guess the appeal of a single-player Dota thing, I get that. I can appreciate that. And yeah, I guess I can kind of see what they're doing with it, but it doesn't seem like it seems like it's a fairly generic kind of thing. When it all boils down to what it actually is, it sounds like they're trying to make it sound fancier than it kind of is, I think is ultimately what it comes down to.
It sounds like it's just going to be an action RPG.
It is just kind of a third-person action RPG-ish kind of thing, I think, yeah. Except probably, like I say, if you're trying to make it more Dota, it's probably less actually story-driven. They've made an action RPG but couldn't be bothered putting a story in it. They've just made a lot of fights, probably.
It's wave-based action RPG.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
I don't think I'll be getting that one.
We've got Quiplash, which we already took a look at. This is the trailer I looked at earlier that was like... I mean, it says rated teen for sexual themes, but I guess if it's... I don't know. You wouldn't rate Cards Against Humanity as being teen, so... It does say you can say anything, including fart sandwich. So, that's where I get the Cards Against Humanity thing from. I suspect people will say worse things than fart sandwich, though.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah. We got The Last Dogma, which is a dark comedy exploration adventure game set in 1999. The US is campaigning for world domination after being disappointed with the results of the Cold War. Which is a hell of a concept.
Yeah.
It doesn't look great, to be honest.
The graphics look about on par with The Forest.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
At least to me. But
It definitely looks a good few years old. It doesn't look like a 2015 title. It doesn't quite look like a 1999 title, but somewhere in the middle.
2004.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. It does not look like the kind of thing I want to particularly spend much time dwelling on.
About a little better than Half-Life 1.
Indeed. You got Devilry. Devilry is some manner of horror affair, which means it instantly fails to appeal to me. You must survive the night in your rural home as a sinister apparition wreaks havoc in your stately manor. Protect your family from the ghost using a variety of tools and weapons found around the estate. Sounds like it's drawing a little bit on Five Nights at Freddy's.
It looks like you can move around, though.
Yeah, no, I'm getting that. Just the kind of, survive the night, there's things trying to find you in the night kind of job was kind of what I was getting at, more so than, yeah.
Hey, it looks like you can get a weapon, though. You got a knife in one of the pictures. It's very shiny.
Well, you wouldn't want to stab a ghost with a blunt knife. You need a shiny knife to stab ghosts.
Silver-plated.
Well, I guess if you need silver bullets to take out... Wait, no. What do silver bullets kill?
Werewolves.
They may be werewolves, I don't know. These are ghosts. Is it a silver bullet for a werewolf and a silver knife for a ghost? Is that how that works?
I don't know. I know that in video games, silver weapons do tend to hurt the undead more, so...
Okay. We got... What else we got? Oh, Rogus. Rogus, I did have the misfortune of playing. It's not great. It is a endless runner stroke beat 'em up kind of thing, I guess is what they're classifying it as. You play a wizard, you run in a long straight line, fight one enemy and one enemy only. They have only put one type of enemy into the game, and you must hit it with a sword, block it with a shield, and throw fireballs at it amongst a few other spells. It gives you 4 spells to take with you out of 6 entire spells in the game, so it's a fairly limited selection. And yeah, it doesn't really do
the pictures show other enemies, at least.
Which pictures are you looking at?
On Steam, the very last picture shows a giant, like, plant guy.
Oh no, that's your character. There's one of your spells turns you into that tree.
Oh.
So that's not even an enemy.
What a great spell that is.
It's basically for all intents and purposes within the game, it's just invulnerability. It just makes you invulnerable to damage and instantly destroy any enemy you contact. That's all that one does.
Wow.
And half of their screenshots are just from the intro sequence, which, by the way, is the most interesting bit of the game. If they had ended the game at the 15-minute mark after the intro sequence, I would have rated this game really highly, because it's really bizarre and surreal and interesting. It starts you out with doing the endless runner bit. It's like, oh, you must collect golden souls from your fallen enemies. You must go forth and slay enemies. Collect 10 of these souls, or whatever they were. You need to collect them to get a key. So you go forth. You don't need to get them all in one run as well, so it's literally impossible to fail this. You just keep going until you have killed 10 enemies cumulatively. And then they go, oh, okay, here's a key. Now you're allowed to leave the tavern, from which is your base kind of hub of operations. Here's the key. You're allowed to leave the tavern, despite the fact there's a sign over the door saying, no, don't leave the tavern. But you can do it anyway. And then you go forth, and it turns out that outside the tavern there is nothing. There is space. There is endless void, which is, kind of spoiled by their screenshots, because that's, what goes on there. And then once you've walked far enough through the void, you wake up in a tavern. Not a wizard, just an old guy who's fallen asleep at the bar in a tavern.
Was this game sponsored by Budweiser by any chance?
No. It's just promoting old age alcoholism. And then he takes a bundle of flowers and he goes to his wife's graveside. And his wife's ghost rises from the grave and says, I can't live without you. He stabs himself in the chest. He turns into a ghost as well, and then they both fly off to heaven. And then you go back to doing endless runner stuff again.
Take my money now.
I swear to God, if the game had ended after they'd flown off to heaven, I'd have been like, holy shit, that was a good game. just from the sheer just subverting everything. It was like, oh look, we're going to make you play this endless runner thing. Oh, it's not a very good game. It's kind of mediocre. Oh, but here's some stuff. Or like, oh, okay, I did not see that coming, and what the fuck? That would have been a good game. If they'd just gone, okay, you committed seppuku at the end to join your wife in the afterlife, the end. That would have been a good game. That would have made it in my book. But then it throws you back into mediocre endless runner platform spell slinging, and suddenly it's like, it could have been good, but you ruined it by doing more gameplay. You didn't know when to stop. The right place to stop was at the 15-minute mark.
You're onto a good thing, damn it.
It's one of those things that if they just subverted it by making it a complete non-game, I would have rated it quite highly. Just for what it did. Just for having
they took it from what the hell to why the hell did I play this?
Yeah. It had the potential to be just quite a potent impact just in being an innovative kind of non-game kind of just experience. Which I quite appreciate. And they didn't do that. Anyway, to make up for that, we have The Adventures of Mr. Bobley.
Must admit, when I initially read this, I was disappointed it was not Mr. Blobby.
Oh, God. Could you imagine? Is Mr. Blobby relevant enough for them to make a game out of these days?
Hey, he had his own amusement park at the height of his fame.
Well, yeah, but that was at the height of his fame. He's not at the height of his fame anymore.
I think he's due a comeback.
Please no. But no, this is not Blobby, this is Bobley. Also, I think Alzorath, do you know who Mr. Blobby is?
No.
Okay, yeah, no, that never made it across the Atlantic. Then I'm guessing.
It's probably
Not
for the
really.
best that you don't know who he is.
I can probably look it up. Mr. Blobby.
Yeah.
Prepare to have
Oh
your
god,
life
there's
change.
okay. I'm gonna just look at the song first.
Oh god, the song came way later as well. It was like that was when, I don't know. I think that was probably when he jumped the shark or nuked the fridge, one of the two.
For some reason, just the imagery so far makes me think of "Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared."
I don't know that.
Yeah, that's quite appropriate, I guess, if it's that theme.
Anyway, Mr. Bobbly is apparently a game about Bob the Builder, I guess.
Really?
It is about a builder who must build a platforming game and then platform on the platforming game, I think. It seems to incorporate elements of all the worst simulator games, so Danny would probably love it, as well as some platforming stuff. And then there's one screenshot where he's playing football for some reason. By himself.
Builder's got to take breaks.
He keeps score. He scored 6-0 against himself. That does not look terribly compelling.
No, you haven't sold it to me, I'm afraid.
I'm stopping with the Mr. Blobby thing.
It's probably wise. I cannot recommend binging on Blobby.
I'll just start linking it in Skype.
You do that. I won't click on it.
But there's a certain charm about seeing him crash into things and sexually molest a couple of people.
I don't think that was ever proven. I think Mr. Blobby's got a kind of a Ken Barlow thing going on.
Well, it's difficult to take him seriously in the courtroom.
Anyway, up next we have Scarab Tales, which is a puzzle game with an Egyptian theme, which involves dung beetles pushing, not actually dung around, which I think would have made it more interesting. They're just golden balls. You can push golden balls around.
Are these the upper
Golden
class
balls.
beetles?
Sorry?
Are these the upper class beetles then?
Presumably, yes. It's the dung beetle's more affluent cousin. I don't know what that's about. It's a puzzle thing. I'm sure it will explain it when you buy it. It's a thing about pushing balls around. We have Mini One Racing. Oh, I've been sent a review copy of this, but I've not actually had a chance to play it yet. I should probably have a look at this at some point. It looks Micro Machines-y. It's racing very small cars around around environments and collecting power-ups and things.
Yeah, Micro Machines were great.
It's racing toy cars, which, to be fair, has been done a few times over the course of the last year or so. I've been sent a few racing games.
I was about to say, wasn't there actually a Micro Machines racing game, like, way back?
Oh, yeah, there absolutely was. Yeah,
PlayStation 1 or something like that? Or...
Yeah, it's quite popular. Although, I don't think I'd never played it, but what I've heard of it is that the AI cheated really badly in it. So it's like, at a certain difficulty, the AI just straight up just went faster than you, and you could not catch up with them.
Yeah, rubber banding.
I don't think it was even
Happens
rubber
a lot,
banding. It
too.
was just like the car just goes faster than you. Straight up, their car is faster. You cannot win.
That's messed up.
That is. So this appears to be... Oh, hang on. This is from 2008. This is actually a 7-year-old game. What the heck? Okay. Well, I have been sent a review copy for it this week, so there you go.
A little late.
It's a little late. Yeah, you could have got it to me a little bit sooner than that. Oh, this is from the... Oh, yeah, of course. This is from the same guy who did Penguins Arena, which I do have and is actually surprisingly entertaining. Which is about... It's a first-person shooter about penguins that throw snowballs at each other. It's pretty good.
The penguin. Man's greatest kill.
Indeed. We have Prismatica, which is a colourful puzzly thing. It involves colourful hexagons and rotating colourful hexagons. It's inspired by Rubik's Cubes, Sudoku, dodecahedrons, and caffeine.
I can get behind the caffeine part.
Oh, it's kind of a colour blending kind of thing. Interesting. If you're into colour blending, there's colour blending. Beyond that, we have Sacraterra, which is... Oh god, that is... I think I can tell what that is, even before I even see it. That's a hidden object game.
Dang it.
That's... I say it's a hidden object game, is probably... Actually, it might actually just genuinely be straight up a hidden object game. I was going to say it might be more of the Professor Layton kind of thing that seems to be more the thing these days, but it's actually 4 years old, so I think it is just straight up a hidden object game.
I haven't actually played any of the newer hidden object games where they've actually put, gameplay into it.
Tell you what, I think I may still have a spare key, because they sent me 2 at some point. I don't think I ever did anything with the second key. I will have to throw one your way, just because it's weird enough that I think it's probably up your street. Called Questerium Trinity HD, which is it's all done with really bad green screen FMV sequences. It's hilarious. So I think
I'd give it a try.
I was going to say if I've still got that spare key somewhere, I'll throw it your way.
Cool, thank you.
We have... What else we got? Where were we? We're at Secretary... Anna's Quest, isn't it?
Quest.
Which is the quest of a small girl who has telekinesis, torture instruments, and a knack for improvisation, and the help of a shady fox. Which sounds darker than it looks. It's kind of cartoony and lighthearted looking, but what the hell? The torture instruments? What?
I have to say, I do like the aesthetic of it.
Oh, this is Daedalic. Daedalic actually do some pretty decent stuff. It's actually... I'd be interested to take a look at that, actually. Daedalic generally do quite a lot of point-and-click stuff. Whether this is the same kind of thing, I'm not sure. It looks like it could very easily be point-and-click, actually, come to think of it.
Yeah, the aesthetic kind of fits with that.
Yeah. I mean, it's not filed as such, but I think it probably is. We have How to Survive third-person standalone. Oh, How to Survive was I gather, a fairly average-ish zombie kind of thing. And I guess they've moved the camera into third person so that they can sell you the entire game again. Is basically what this appears to be. It allows you to replay the entire experience from a immersive point of view. I would have said surely a first-person view is more immersive than a third-person point of view, if anything. Because it's kind of like you are the character, whereas third-person is you're watching the character.
Well, maybe it's more immersive for people who'd like to watch.
Okay, that'll do it. Great. If you want to play the same game again with a slightly different camera angle, you can now pay £7 for the privilege. Congratulations.
Because that's what everybody looks for in a game.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, look at GTA. They moved the camera and everybody bought that again.
Get on that, Batman.
Yeah, well, don't tempt them. They probably will.
Then you have the games that won't even move the camera. Call of Duty.
Well, yeah. We have Energy Balance is a number puzzle. You have to swap power units in such a way that their sums form correct chains both vertically and horizontally. Which sounds like it's got some Sudoku in it, I guess? It's like Sudoku, but kind of not Sudoku? I don't know. There is a cat floating in space for no reason. So it's got that going for it.
Okay, that's a plus.
I'm not sure whether it's a zombie or a robot cat. It's kind of difficult to make out. A little bit of it looks like it's kind of stitched together Frankenstein style, but it might just be sort of jointed in a robotic kind of fashion.
Maybe he's a little from column A and a little from column B.
Well, could be. That does not look like something I really want to get invested in, I don't think. Now, Revolution Under Siege Gold, which is a fairly dry-looking strategy thing set in the 1917 Bolshevik Revolution. Make the red side triumph to save the Soviet proletariat revolution, or lead the whites to victory in order to place the old regime back in power and protect the countries of Europe from the perils of revolution. This is the biggest civil war game you will ever play, apparently.
Ah.
Looks like Risk.
It looks pretty historical. All these games, what was the games I look at them and I'm just like, does not look like I want to play that. Looks pretty boring. Michael, you like history?
Yeah, this looks boring even to me.
That's always a good metric. It's like, if the historian amongst us thinks it looks boring, you have not made a compelling history game. We got Unpossible, sponsored by Ralph Wiggum, presumably.
Yeah.
You fail English? That's impossible. This is a game about driving along a tube and dodging things that are on the tube, which are designed to stop you driving along the tube. Which seemed...
A lot of tubes.
I'll say I've seen a lot... I don't know, yeah, tubes seem to be a thing all of a sudden. I've seen a few games with tubes in recent history. Which, it seems to be kind of in the same vein as stuff like... is it Distance, is it, I think? Which just involves driving along tricky courses and not crashing into things. Is mostly what it is. It's for people who like to rage at things slamming into their face extremely fast. I do not like that.
This one looks almost like you're racing along the tube rather than on a track.
Yeah, it's just kind of a tube-based track, but yeah, you know, F-Zero did that 11 years ago, so... You know, just a hint, Nintendo, in case you want to bring that one back. I'm not going to let that one go. I'm not going to let that one go, by the way.
It's never coming back. Just
no.
Accept it.
No, I can't. It's one of Nintendo's best IPs, and they keep bothering with the boring IPs that nobody cares about anymore. Except for the people that do. But I care about F-Zero. People care about F-Zero. I guarantee you, if they brought back F-Zero, everyone would be like, woo, Nintendo IP. Yay. Good, they haven't forgotten about it. But, yeah. Tubes. We have Vapor.
What's a tube?
Sorry?
Sorry. No, carry on. That was not important in any way, shape, or form.
Okay. Vapor. Well, it says Vapor on Steam, but it says Vapor Part 1 on the logo, so I don't know if this is like an episodic kind of dealio. It is an experimental horror game that fuses elements of old school and modern horror titles with frantic gameplay of first-person shooter titles. I can't think of anything that sounds worse. It blends horror, shooter, action, puzzle, platformer games. Yeah. They have a demo, though, so you can play that. Find out if you like it. I don't think I will. It also has an age restriction of 18, apparently. Just in case blood and flames are too much for your puny mind. And finally we have Subspace Continuum, which is... Oh no, it's not finally. I thought it was finally. There's a couple more.
Oh, two more, damn it.
There's two more. Subspace Continuum is the longest running MMO game that we looked at before. It is still the longest running MMO game. And Virgin Media apparently are doing it now. We have Farm Frenzy Hurricane Season. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention Farm Frenzy Hurricane Season. I nearly missed this one out. Would you have ever forgiven me for missing Farm Frenzy Hurricane Season?
Danny wouldn't.
Okay, well, that's true. Yeah, this is really...
Looks like Farmville.
It looks very, very Farmville. It looks extremely casual.
Like Farmville with less wandering.
Yeah, well, I never played Farmville, so I don't really know what it entails, but there's definitely the clicking of animals in this, which I'm pretty sure makes it a cow clicker. Although in this case they are clicking on pigs and chickens, so I guess it's a pig clicker.
That just sounds horrible.
And what else have I missed? Polybridge. Who added Polybridge? I don't remember seeing that on the list. Did someone?
I added it.
Oh, you added it. Okay, tell us about Polybridge.
It's actually coming out on the 30th. And it's one game that I actually have played. It's a kind of physics puzzle thing, almost like The Amazing Machine.
Okay.
Except you're building a bridge, and that bridge is very flimsy.
Alright.
But yeah, it's actually kind of fun. I've put a little bit of time into it. I might actually even do a video over it after the embargo lifts. But it's good.
Okay, cool. Right, yeah. That one threw me. I was like, I'm sure I don't remember putting that on my list. It's not on Steam, so yeah, you caught me off guard there.
It's on Steam.
Is it? Oh, it's not on the. It's not on the coming soon list, or unless I'm really blind
It's
here.
on the 30th. I don't know if it's gonna be. Yeah, it's gonna be early access. You might be trimming those off. But
You're not allowed to turn them off, which is kind of what's. That's why I'll have skipped over it, because I tend not to mention. The list is long enough without going into all the early access stuff as well.
it's actually fairly functional.
All right.
Unlike most early access.
Oh, fair enough.
I haven't run into any bugs yet.
Okay. Oh yeah, I see it. Yes. There are
a good little
there are
puzzler.
vehicles falling off breaking bridges. Looks entertaining.
They can jump too. You can like do Evil Knievel ramps and shit.
Well, that seems like a standard road infrastructure, you know? That would work.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Cool. All right. I look forward to the video. Anyway, that probably
I think
kind of...
Blitz will probably do one too, by the way.
All right. I think that kind of brings us to the end, though. Alzorath. All that remains is for you to tell the good people who you are, what you do, where they can find it, that kind of good jazz.
I'm Alzorath. I do YouTube and I have a Twitter, and it's all underneath Alzorath. Alzorath.
Okay, fair enough. Michael,
Yes.
we have missed your outros for a few weeks, and I don't know how to do them, so...
Do you really not?
I sort of blunder through it. You seem to have a script, so I'll turn it over to you and your script.
Thank you. I'm just preparing my notes. Thank you very much for listening to the Butter Mash podcast. We really do truly appreciate it. If you want to engage with us, you can find us on Facebook at...
Facebook.com/buttonmash.
Find us on Twitter at...
Twitter.com/button_mash_UK.
Find our presence on Steam at...
bit.ly/bmsteam.
You can find our website at...
button-mash.net.
And I don't know, if you've got some money that's just kicking about and you want to throw it at an aspiring YouTube artist, you can follow John at his Patreon series, which can be found at...
patreon.com/buttonmash.
Please do feel free to leave us a comment or a like and let us engage with us. Sorry, something threw me.
Yeah, Alzorath is sharing. Oh, God! No. I vote no. Mr. Blobby is not going to be... I'm not going to foist Mr. Blobby upon the masses and our audience. They don't deserve it.
Mr. Blobby
It so
has
needs to be the background image.
No.
Mr. Blobby has returned. Leave us a comment. How did you feel about Mr. Blobby? Let us know in the comments. Once again, thank you very much for listening to the podcast. We do appreciate it on behalf of myself and on behalf of John.
Thank you.
On behalf of our guest, Alzorath.
You.
It's been the Butter Mash podcast. We'll see you again next week. Goodbye.
Bye.